What if I told you that one question could make you harder to manipulate, harder to fool, or help you make better decisions for the rest of your life? If that sounds impossible, stay here with me. I'm CJ Everson, and welcome to The Jewish Skeptic. The one question that can change your life. What if? The quality of your life has less to do with your intelligence and the more to do with the question you ask. Think about it. Every major decision you ever made started with a question. Who should I trust? Should I take this job? Should I invest, this money? Should I vote for that politician? Every single decision begins with a question. The problem is, most of us are asking the wrong ones, though. We ask, how can I prove I'm right? Instead of, what if I'm wrong? Those two questions create two completely different lives. See, I used to think being smart meant having all the answers. Now, I think wisdom starts when you stop chasing answers and you start asking better questions. Here's what I've learned, folks. Your brain isn't built to find truth. Your brain is built to protect you. It wants comfort and certainty. And of course, it wants to be right. That's why it's so easy to fool ourselves. Not because, humans are stupid or anything, but it's because we are human. Have you ever stayed in a relationship longer than you should have? I think most of us have. You keep telling yourself, they'll change. This time is different. Oh, they didn't mean it. You know what's happening? You're choosing hope over evidence. The evidence is sitting right in front of you, but the hope is louder. Let me ask y'all something else. Have you ever stayed at a job you hated because you kept saying next year it'll get better? Maybe. But maybe you've been saying that for 5 years. Again, hope versus evidence. I got another one for y'all. Have you ever believed a politician because they told you exactly what you wanted to hear? Have you ever defended someone simply because they was on your side? Have you ever shared a headline without reading it? And I know y'all ain't gonna keep it real with me out there, but I'm gonna say it. We all have done things like that. Why? I'll tell you why. Human beings don't naturally search for truth. We naturally search for confirmation. We look for people who already agree with us. We'll watch news that already agrees with us. We follow creators that already agree with us. And then before long, we mistake agreement for evidence. Those ain't the same thing. They ain't even close. 1,000 people agreeing with each other can still be wrong. History has proved that over and over again. That's why I stopped asking. I stopped asking who believes this and started asking what actually supports this. That one change changed my life, folks. Years ago, I spent a long time defending ideas I already believed. I wasn't looking for truth. And I'm going to keep it real. I was looking for ammunition. But when you're looking for ammunition, you ignore anything that challenges your position. But on the other hand, when you're looking for truth, you actually welcome challenges. And the reason being is because they help you see your blind spots when you welcome challenges. That doesn't mean changing your mind is easy though, because bro, it is not. I'm telling you, it's not. Nobody enjoys realizing they've been wrong. Your pride gets involved, and sometimes your family gets involved, and sometimes your whole community gets involved. Changing your mind can feel like losing a piece of yourself. I know this. But here's the question. Would you rather protect your ego or improve your life? Those two goals often pull in opposite directions. I know y'all probably seen the thumbnail. I recently came across a quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he said in the quote, "The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it." Most people think that statement is about science, but I personally don't. I think it's a statement about life. Your body don't care what diet you believe in. Your bank account doesn't care what economic theory you believe in. Your relationships don't care what motivational quotes you post online. Reality just keeps giving feedback. And I mean, every single day we get feedback from reality. The question is, are you listening though? Are you listening? One of the biggest changes I made in my own life is learning to stop asking, do I like this? And I started asking, is it true? There are ideas I wish were true, people. There are beliefs I wish I had better evidence for, people. There are things that would make life feel easier if they were true. I admit to that. But wishing doesn't change reality. Reality has never asked for my permission. And honestly, I'm glad it doesn't. Imagine if gravity only worked for people who believe in gravity. Imagine if your paycheck changed because you believe you deserve more money. I know you're listening to that. Get in that pocketbook a little bit. The world would be chaos. Reality stays consistent. And because it stays consistent, you can learn, you can adapt, you can improve. And I think that's good news. If reality is consistent, then mistakes can be corrected. That's why I don't think skepticism is about doubting everything. That's exhausting. Real skepticism is simply asking better questions. Questions like, how do we know that? What's the evidence, Could I be wrong? What could change your mind? I ask people that all the time, what could change your mind? But notice something. None of those questions require you to already have an answer. They just simply require humility. And humility might be one of the most underrated skills in our life. Humility says, I could be mistaken. That's not weakness, though. That's growth in my eyes. In fact, every major improvement in my life started with those 4 words. I could be mistaken. Now, when I admitted that, I started learning faster. I started listening better too, making better decisions, having better conversations. And changing my mind when the evidence demanded it. Boy, that was so hard to do. But here's something I want to leave you with, though. From this day forward, before you make any important decision, I'm talking to y'all out there on the other side of this camera. Let me repeat it. From this day forward, before you make an important decision, before you repost something online, before you end a relationship, before you trust a miracle claim, and before you believe a conspiracy, pause and ask yourself one question. What evidence do I actually have? Let me say it again. What evidence do I actually have? Not what do I hope is true? Not what does my side believe? Not who said it. Just what evidence do I actually have? That one habit, it won't make you perfect. You'll still make mistakes. I still make mistakes. But it will make you much harder to manipulate. Harder to deceive, harder to fool. And that's becoming one of my biggest goals for this channel, actually. I had to switch gears a little bit. And I said that to say this. This channel is not to tell you what to think, but this channel is to help you become the kind of person that's difficult to fool. Once you learn how to think, people lose the ability to think for you. So let me leave you with the same words that brought you here. What if? What if your next breakthrough doesn't come from finding better answers? What if it comes from asking better questions? Because in the end, the quality of your life will almost always rise. And I mean to the level of the questions you're willing to ask. So until next time, ask better questions. No fear, no dogma, just clarity. I'm CJ Everson. Thanks for tuning in to the Jewish Skeptic. If you like these type of episodes, like, subscribe, get involved in the comment section. I answer every comment, especially with this being a growing channel. So I'll see y'all in the next one.
Do you know what I found? The more you know, the less you know.